All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Unfortunately, I just could not get Instagram to go live. So I'm live across Facebook and YouTube. So we can always find those there. Okay. So here I am. It's just me. Don't have Dr. Ryan here today. He's traveling. So I felt like this was a good time to do a topic for women. And now, guys, don't check out just yet because there are women in your lives and it's just very important stuff for you to know as well. But also just following Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. So I just kind of wanted to touch on a topic that we all go through, all females go through in life, whether you're already there, whether you're going through it, or you're not there, but you will be there one day. It's great information for you. And as you hear, let's just talk about it. We're going to talk about perimenopause and menopause. And I'm not a doctor, clearly. I'm not here to tell you all the physiology about what happens to your body. We'll touch on some of it. But what I'm really here today is to talk to you about how to support your body through this major transition in your life. So again, thank you for joining. If you guys already don't follow or subscribe, please make sure you do. It helps us as well as it helps you. We try to provide you this wonderful, amazing educational content that you can take for yourself and also share with your loved ones. So follow us along, leave comments, love them, like all the above. And if you have questions on the topic today, I'm going to try to touch on them at the end. But because it is just me here today, getting to the questions might be a little bit more challenging. So first and foremost, supporting the female body during the perimenopause and menopause phase is not an option. This is not optional. This is essential because so many things happen to our body, and it's not just those negative symptoms you actually feel immediately. During this powerful transition, every system in the body is changing. So without taking proper care of it, we're faced with increased risks of many things. Many things, important things, bone loss, cardiovascular health, muscle wasting, cognitive decline, just chronic disease. We're just become more susceptible to it. So prioritizing targeted nutrition, hormone balance, lifestyle strategies, all of that is important for women to not just, survive through this, but to thrive through this period of our life. Personally, I'm in the beginning phases. So sometimes, I do get regular checks of my hormones, but sometimes it's not just what is shown on the paper. You also have to base it on symptoms. So the combination of what your blood work is showing, as well as your symptoms, is how you and your physician can put together a program for you to, again, help this transition. So I'm going to educate a lot on supplements. And as you see, of course, I do have our women's hormonal balance because it's a major player, but I also have a lot going on over here. And I talk also a lot about stacking. What I mean by stacking supplements is there's not just one supplement that's going to fix everything. It would be amazing if we could just take this women's hormonal balance, and this would touch on everything that goes on in our bodies through this period. But you can't just do that. So we will talk about the amazing benefits of our women's hormonal balance, but also how to incorporate and how to stack all these other supplements and why. Okay. I'm always big on the why. I'm going to brush through real quick on physiological changes that go on during perimenopause and menopause, just for some that may not know all of them. We know the hormonal fluctuations. That is the obvious. So we get irregular estrogen, progesterone levels, cause those hot flash, mood swings. One of the most common signs is sleep issues. So we also, obviously reproductive decline. Okay, we know this stuff, but bone density loss. You have a rapid decline in bone mineral density during this phase, especially right when you go into menopause. So this increases our risk for osteoporosis, osteopenia, fractures. It's a scary time. So you have to make sure you're going through and you're supporting everything. Muscle loss. So estrogen decline, which is typically what happens when you go into the menopause, accelerates sarcopenia. Now, sarcopenia is where we significantly lose muscle mass, but our muscle mass to fat mass ratio completely changes, right? So muscle goes down, fat mass goes up. You also have heard the term, sometimes it's called if you're not overweight, sometimes it's called like a skinny fat. So you see a skinny person that seems like they don't have a lot of fat mass, but they've lost a lot of the muscle. So therefore you do have a lot of fat mass. So this also reduces our strength, which can also help, if we have our strength there, it helps the bones, supports the bones. And it also decreases our metabolism, slows our metabolism. So we hate hearing that, because also we know that one of the major player in during this phase is also we start to gain weight. A lot of times it's around the midsection, just areas that we don't want. And, nobody wants to put on the extra weight. Cardiovascular risk. So as estrogen drops, you can also get a rise in your LDL cholesterol and your blood pressure. So I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. Cognitive changes. So we have changes in we get brain fog. We have some memory issues, mood disorders. That's a very known and common one. Hair, skin, nails, all those changes. So through this phase, we have reduced collagen, leading to dryness, more wrinkles, hair thinning. That's why a lot of people feel like they age so fast in that transitional period. So you really need to be here supporting it. Really, really, really do. And also hormonal shifts can worsen inflammation and autoimmune flare-ups. So these are very big deals. We know chronic inflammation is one of the root causes for almost all disease. So if we have this inflammation that's silently in there, maybe you don't feel it, you don't know what's going on, and then these hormonal shifts that worsen that inflammation, it can cause so many unwanted things in our body. I just have a question here. What about if you've had a hysterectomy? This goes for you too, because your body went through abrupt changes with all of this. So all of this stuff is happening, or happened at a very fast pace. So you're still going to get everything with the decreased bone density and the collagen and the increased cardiovascular risk and a decrease in muscle mass, all of that. So this pertains to you 100%. Okay, so let's go through and talk about the importance of supporting lean muscle mass and bone health, because these are really big major players or major risk factors that go on during this phase. So again, we lose that muscle and we also lose the estrogen that basically protects our bones. So the goal is to start with muscle loss, prevent this extreme rapid muscle loss. And I talk about this a lot with how we in general lose muscle loss. For women, because we're speaking specifically on women, we lose about 3 to 8% of muscle mass per decade. This starts when you're 30. So you typically enter the perimenopause, menopause phase, maybe late 40s, 50s, could go on for a very long time, but you've already lost a good amount of muscle mass just from there, especially if you're not working to, maintain it, to keep it there. And then we have this accelerated decline that happens during menopause. So if you are not supporting your body properly, this accelerated decline is going to be so fast that you've got to work extra hard. It doesn't mean that this has to happen. You just have to work so hard to prevent it from happening. So problems with this, I talked about reduced metabolism, easier to gain weight. We have decreased strength, which affects our balance, affects our mobility, greater risk of falls and injury. Combine that with weaker, brittle bones, right? Big deal, big deal. So we got to maintain that muscle mass. I'm going to start to kind of pull out little things as I'm talking about them, ways to do this. So specifically for lean muscle mass, as we have our essential aminos. Now, again, I'm going to start just stacking. Okay, so take notes. You'll always have this though, this training. So bookmark it so you can make sure you go back to it. Okay, so we have our essential aminos, the building blocks of protein. A must, a must, a must. 1 to 3 times a day. Okay, I personally, right now, I'm taking them 2 times a day. And then also our protein powders. Okay, now these are not a must, right? Because it's protein. We can get protein from our diet, but it's very hard to get the right amount of protein. It's very hard to get enough protein from our diet without maybe increasing the calories, or sometimes you feel like you're force feeding yourself. Oh, I need more chicken. So it's easy to make a high quality, delicious smoothie that offers you 20 grams of protein for 100 calories. So you're not at risk for going over that. Say you did this, made 2 shakes as your snacks in between meals, like a day. That's just 200 calories and 40 grams of protein. You are well on your way to reaching your protein goals. So again, supplements to a healthy and balanced diet, these will help you reach your protein goals. Okay, so those are big ones there for lean muscle mass. And then we talked about the protecting bone density. Big deal, because we want to prevent osteopenia, osteoporosis. The estrogen that we have in our bodies it protects our bone. It helps with bone remodeling. It prevents that breakdown. But when we lose that estrogen, our bones are not as protective, and the breakdown happens pretty fast. So it says during and after menopause, women can lose up to 20% of bone density in the first 5 to 7 years. I mean, like scary, scary numbers here. So if you're not doing what you need to do to prevent this, guys, you are at serious risk. So what can we do? Okay, we can support our bone with nutrients like our vitamin D3, K2. Non-negotiable here. You have to be taking this. Everybody has to be taking this. And know your numbers. This is a very easy test from your doctor. It's a very mainstream test. I think every doctor is now doing it. Make sure you know your number, because you also want to aim for optimal dosing. I know they say, okay, around like 40 is great, or is okay, but really, because you want to bring it up a notch. Personally, I like mine around 80, but I mean, think of the range from like 60 to 80. So know your number and dose this accordingly. So one capsule is 2,000 international units. You might need to take 2 a day, maybe 3 a day to get your number where it needs to be. And then you can easily go on a maintenance dose of like 1 capsule per day, 2,000 international units per day. Extremely important. Magnesium. Not only is magnesium involved in so many other things, I already talked about like the first sign of going through this phase is sleep, loss of sleep. So you know that magnesium can help with that, helps with that rest and relaxation, but also extremely important for bone. So make sure you're taking your magnesium for all of the above. Collagen peptides. I did discuss how we lose collagen during this time. So not only is collagen great for our hair, skin, and nails, because we're losing it, we want to prevent those wrinkles and have that nice, soft, full hair, but also for our bones. You need to take the collagen peptides for your bones. And then, of course, protein. Protein also helps this, guys. Protein is so crucial. So make sure you're getting enough protein. Count it. Protein's not a hard thing to count. And a good rule of thumb is you want to consume 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. And you can go on Google and type in ideal body weight calculator. And it's also in our health assessment, but that way you can see your ideal body weight. Okay. So you want to base it off of that. Okay. So great things for the bone. There's a couple other things that I'll pull in, but those are major key players. Supporting hormonal balance and insulin sensitivity. So insulin sensitivity, right? You're kind of wondering, well, your muscle acts as a metabolic reservoir. So the more muscle you have, the better you're able to get that the blood sugar out of your bloodstream, right? So you eat, and the more muscle you have, that's also why we talk about moving after you eat. So those muscles contract and pull all that blood sugar into your working muscles, not circulating in your blood. So we lose muscle, right? Metabolism slows, all this happens, and we become more insulin sensitive. So maybe if you're in this phase or gone through this phase, you're kind of seeing like you're creeping towards being diabetic, or maybe your doctor told you like, hey, you have pre-diabetes now. It doesn't mean you have to keep going that way. Again, in this phase of life, we just have to work harder to maintain things. So you can do this stuff. So again, it's all about supporting the lean muscle mass. Mental health, emotional well-being, very important during this time. I mean, we have our mood suffers, we have anxiety, we have decreased cognitive ability, all this stuff which can lead to irritability, depression. It's a tough phase. So you need to make sure you're really working on supporting it. I have some like lifestyle stuff we can go through. I talked about the cardiovascular changes. So, we have our multivitamins. I want to bring into the multivitamins and explain why. So it covers all your essential nutrients for immune and hormone support. But specifically in here is our B vitamins, our B vitamin complex. Yes, they are methylated. B vitamins help a lot with energy, mood, sleep. Sometimes you hear B vitamins, you think of energy, but being deficient in certain B vitamins, especially B6, can actually lead to sleep disturbances. So the fact that we're already pretty much going to be having sleep disturbances, you want to do what you can to help prevent it. So you need to make sure you're covering your essentials there. And I mean, right here, I just talked about these guys. That's if you're new to us, this is our daily essentials pack. Again, everybody needs to be on this, but I'm just highlighting the importance of it during this phase of life. Factor 4. So I discussed how inflammation increases during this time. Okay, unfortunately, but it's a very scary thing. So you want to make sure you're working to keep the inflammation down. And what's really important about in here is our turmeric. I mean, turmeric, garlic, great things. You can also add them into your diet by cooking with them. But here you get high doses of it. But also, again, with the cardiovascular health, with your omegas and your CoQ10, all in one loving product. So our cardiovascular changes that go on. I talked about the increased LDL, decreased HDL, which is your good cholesterol. We're at higher risk for hypertension and arteriosclerosis. I mean, so many things. So guys, you should feel lucky right now. Okay, so make sure you've got to be taking your factor 4. Dose is 2 per day, can be increased up to 6 per day because this is a time where your body is going to need the extra support. I highly advise going on the upper end of it. I mean, same thing with our collagen. You don't just need one a day. You need to load your body. You really need to support your body. And with Livegood, guys, we make this affordable so you can increase your doses. We talked about essential aminos, and let's go into now creatine. So I know there's been lots of buzz all over the media about creatine for menopause and this and that. It is not a specific creatine for it. It's just taking creatine. But a lot of people are advertising it for, creatine for menopause. You just need creatine. Creatine monohydrate is the most common utilized studied form. And not only does this help with your muscle, but guys, this is not just like for a fitness supplement. This is so important for your brain. For women navigating perimenopause and menopause, it is far more than just a fitness supplement. It plays a role in cognitive resilience, mood stability, energy metabolism, and neuroprotection. All the things that we suffer from during this phase. So 1 dose a day, make sure you're taking it. We talked about the plant-based protein. Oh, you know which one I don't have here? Let me grab it real quick. All right, here I am. We have our methylene blue. The reason I want to add this in here is for the brain health, enhances brain energy, cognition, mood, mitochondrial function, all this stuff that declines. And I wanted to go a little deeper into this. So methylene blue enhances our mitochondrial function and ATP production, which is how we produce energy. It improves oxygen and reduces brain fog. So many of these things that are going on during this phase in our life. Supports neurotransmitter activity, protects against oxidative stress, and here we go again, inflammation. May prevent cognitive decline and fatigue associated with menopause. So again, just another very important way to support your body during this time. I know I have a few more here I have not talked about. We have our super greens. I'm going to actually pull the super greens and the coffee out at the same time. So the reason I have these two at the same time is because they have adaptogens. I don't even know where it went off, but I'm just going to go back to starting with the super greens and the coffee. And the reason why I have these is for the adaptogens in them. The maca and the ashwagandha, both of these adaptogens really help with the rest and relaxation, the stress response, the cortisol increase. So if you can tolerate caffeine, if you can tolerate caffeine, make sure you're having our organic coffee because of the maca. Also, we have the mushrooms, it's organic, yada, yada. Watch our coffee training. You need to make sure you're having this. And then also, of course, the super greens for the ashwagandha, getting your dose in per day, but it also has so many other beneficial ingredients too. So can't go wrong there. Okay. And I also want to pull out my gut support. So during this phase, our microbiome shifts. So during the decline in estrogen, we also lose diversity in our gut. So you want to make sure you are taking a probiotic to help increase that biodiversity. You want the multiple strains of the good bacteria in there. So make sure you're taking a probiotic. Also, we tend to suffer with the bloating, and some of it goes hand in hand with the decrease in the gut microbiome, or the diversity in the gut microbiome. So make sure you're taking your probiotic gut support as well. So like I said, there's a lot going on here. A lot of supplements. I felt like there was one more I wanted to say besides I get into this hormonal balance. It'll come to me. This is probably when I would pass it to Ryan and I would figure out what I was looking for, but he's not here. Okay, so we're going to go into our women's hormonal balance. Okay, so during this shift, especially the perimenopause, you can have these crazy spikes in estrogen, drops. We have different forms of estrogen. So really what you want to make sure is you have this estrogen balance. So we do have if you want to call it a bad estrogen, which when that increases, we get the estrogen dominance. We also get the discomfort that's associated with it, maybe heavy cycles, breast tenderness, the lumps, the swelling. So you want to make sure you help with the estrogen balance. And the DIM in here is a major player in it. So this doesn't like drop our estrogen again. It just balances the good, the bad, it balances to what we need. And it helps balance the fluctuations that go on. Now you're not going to be, this is not a supplement this is not hormones, right? So you're not going to be making new hormones. When you're going through this phase, unfortunately, you're getting the decline in hormones. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. We just want to help this transition smoothly. Now, if you wanted to look in bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, that's something I recommend discussing with your doctor for sure. But also the DIM helps also helps our liver to get rid of, to detox the used estrogen. So important in here. A couple other ingredients I want to highlight is your black cohosh. So black cohosh is a phytoestrogen. So is the soy isoflavones. And during this phase, your body's losing all that estrogen. So a lot of times here come the hot flashes and the night sweats. But the black cohosh and the soy isoflavones can act as a phytoestrogen and kind of trick your body during this phase of there is still some estrogen here. So let's calm down. Let's not give me those night sweats and hot flashes. So really important stuff. And again, this product is so amazing because it really goes for like all transitions of the menstrual cycle, from just having a regular monthly menstrual cycle to going into the perimenopause and menopause phase. This supplement's great. It has been a game changer for me. I'm super proud of it because I know what we go through when we suffer from these hormonal imbalances, and it's a bummer. So make sure you're taking this. Some might be able to take it, for 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off through your cycle. I feel that it helps my whole entire month if I'm taking this every single day. So, and again, with our prices, you can't go wrong. So I feel like that was just a lot. I just talked straight for 25 minutes. I want to, but sorry guys, I don't want to keep losing you, but I hope this information was super helpful for you. I was going to just touch on real quick some lifestyle recommendations, but our goal is to get the adequate sleep, the 7 to 9 hours. Our body needs to rest and recover. We have to work on our stress. You have got to do this because again, you're getting that cortisol increase during this time. It's difficult because I'm going crazy. Thank you so much for watching. I'm always available for email, lisa@livegood.com. Take this information, watch this again, make sure you really understand what's going on. And you've got to support your body during this transition. Don't wait till it's too late. Give your body what it needs to help thrive through this transition. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, sorry for all the disconnect, but I appreciate you guys being here, and make sure you tune in next week. Always, I will have Dr. Ryan back, so hopefully we won't have technical difficulties. All right, bye guys. Thank you very much.